Hey friends, how you going? Nice to be back with you here. I'm Duncan from McRae's Window Cleaning in Brisbane, Australia. And today I want to talk to you a bit about my brand new Radial Rocker water-fed brush from Reach It Products. I'll be back soon to tell you some of the highlights, some of the benefits and some of the aspects to it that may make you want to buy one. Talk soon. So for many years, I resisted buying anything from Reach It Products. My very first window cleaning pole and brush back in 2008 was a Reach It, and I had no end of difficulties with the clamps and it was a real challenge. To his credit, Perry Tate, the owner, replaced those clamps free of charge as part of the warranty, and I was able to rectify the pole, and it worked quite well after that. But when I restarted my business in 2016 here in Brisbane, I started with Gardner pole, Gardner brushes, and the associated DI tank and things like that to support a water-fed system that works well here in Brisbane. But recently, after looking at a lot of research, and particularly because Manny from Windows101.com in Seattle, a man I've met personally, visited the warehouse a few years ago and bought many products from, he started to stock the product. So I took the fact that an authority like Manny promoting that product, there must be some merit to it. So I investigated and I decided I would buy the Radial Rocker brush. I haven't bought the water purifying system, I haven't bought the pole, but I bought the brush and the associated Rhino tube, which looks a little like that plugs into the bottom of the brush. Now, the interesting thing about the brush is, like most water-fed brushes, the water comes in through here, through jets or over a rinse bar. The difference with this one is, here's the entry point at the bottom of the brush. So you have to be, this is the downside to it. If you're working on windows that have ledges, brick ledges underneath, you're going to have to twist the hose up over the top of the pole to get it out of the way. There is no clip that comes with it to do that. You just have to bend it around the brush, and that will put some tension on it, but it doesn't make the job more difficult. You just have to get used to it, but you can operate on those kind of circumstances. Otherwise, this method works quite well. Now, the water comes through the top here, as you'll note in this little video that I'm showing. So you see the water coming across the top of the brush, and that's the cleaning system that they promote, that the water then cascades down. And the idea of this setup is so that you can turn glass that maybe is hydrophobic into hydrophilic, so then it sheets off much faster and not just bead off. And in my experience, a few months experience, that certainly does take place. Now, the reality is, with a thicker hose, you're going to use a lot more water. And that's the point of this system, is you use more water, but with the proper cleaning methods that you will learn if you buy this brush, or if you go onto their website, you will see how you can clean glass faster, even though you're using more water. In the long run, it seems as though you use less water to get the job done. And I've had some high jobs in recent times where that's definitely the case. If I'd had a brush with a much slower flow, it would have taken a lot longer and potentially left some stain marks on the glass. The advantage of this being heavier is that it sits on the glass with weight, which means you can get a good scrub on it. Now, one of the key features of these is these scrubs that go in the middle, and there's a variety of them. So when you order the system, when you order the brush, you order a number of meters of the Rhino hose. I think it's 75 feet you get of the Rhino hose, but you get a whole lot of these different scrubs. So these are all the scrubs that I got here in my hot little hand that came with the brush. So in this, I got 3 bronze wool scrubs, 1, 2, and the other one's there somewhere, 3. So that's the one I've used up till now. You get 3 of these steel wool scrubs. You get some magic eraser scrubs. You get a steel wool, stainless steel wool. And then you get what's called the green rubber scrubs. And that's what I currently have in my brush. And I have another one there. This one's just a microfiber scrub. So the downside is that there should have been more green rubber scrubs. Realistically, for an everyday scrub, that's the best one to use in your brush. Now, what do? What's the purpose of them? Well, if you go looking in their research, these white non-scratch scrubs, they play their role. They just do like an everyday thing. The bronze wool ones obviously are a bit more aggressive, so you have to be careful on the type of glass you're using. They're very good for very dirty glass because you're getting the bronze wool, even the steel wool scrubs, okay, stainless steel mesh. If it's very, excuse me, really dirty glass, this will be really quite effective. But you have to be careful on some glass being very fragile with tints and stuff like that. You make sure that you don't get too hard, heavy-handed with it, otherwise you're going to scratch the glass. The advantage of this green rubber scrub is that it's more of a grabber of the dirt, not a scraper of the dirt, and so that is very good for getting bee poo and fly poo off glass. It removes that as well as any of that waxy residue that's underneath. So there's a variety of different scrubs that come with it. Is there a downside to this? Yeah, you've got a heavier brush on the end of your pole. When you've got your pole fully extended, that's a bit of weight on your shoulders. So you just be aware of those things. But by and large, it's excellent. The great thing about it is with this pivoting section here, when you buy it, you tell them what kind of pole you have. So when I ordered it, I told the Reach It people I have a Gardner pole, which meant that I can unscrew what comes with the Reach It connector and attach the Gardner click connector. And so then it just fits beautifully onto the end of my pole. The other aspect too is you can lengthen the connector so that you can have more of an angle. I use this because that way I can get very close and a good angle onto the brush, onto the window. But there is also opportunity to make it much longer adapter, especially if you need to get it down deep into a sill. You can then get, with the pole coming up like this, you can get down into the glass over a ledge, and that can be very useful too. So that's, would I recommend it? Yeah, it costs a lot of money. It cost me close to $500 Australian for the whole setup, but it's worthwhile. In the long run, it's going to be very effective, and there's jobs that I've done in the last few months that my other brushes would not have been effective with. This brush has made a massive difference both in getting it clean and in speed. And a job I did last week, I saved close to an hour because of 2 changes to my methods, one of which included my Reach It brush. So check it out. For those of you in the UK, you've got to remember you're going to use a lot more water, but I do attach this because it's got an adapter, a 10mm to 8mm adapter. I do attach that to my univalve and tubeless kit that's through the center of my Gardner pole. So I can still operate that kit, which is very handy. You know what tubeless kits and univalves can do, how they can benefit. And while the water is slightly less coming out because of the smaller hose that's pumping through, it doesn't lose its effectiveness in its cleaning power. So you think about those things, balance that, the water you're going to use, especially if you have to carry your water in the van, or whether you can plug it into a mains like I can and you've got access to all the water you want, then think about the value of having this Reach It radial rocker with all of the scrubs attached. Of course, when the scrubs wear, you can just replace them long before you'll need to replace the brush head. So that's the thing about radial from Reach It. If you want to talk about it, leave some comments below. You've got an opinion, I'm sure. Or if you want to reach out to us at Facebook or Instagram, they're right there across the bottom is our handle for both social media platforms. It's been great talking to you today. I hope you're doing well. Hope window cleaning's helping you out, making a good living, that you're enjoying your routine. And in the meantime, take care in this crazy world. We'll talk soon. And I'll say bye for now.